What we do with the ordinary objects in our lives can carry extraordinary meaning, especially when those actions become unconscious habits. One of the most overlooked examples is the simple act of placing something on a chair. At first glance, putting a bag, a stack of clothes, or even a random item on a chair seems harmless, just a temporary spot for convenience. But if you look deeper, you'll see this action speaks volumes about how we treat the spaces in our lives, and even more importantly, how we treat ourselves. In many traditions, cultural teachings, and energy philosophies, placing clutter on a chair, particularly items that represent burden, disorder, or unfinished business, can symbolize a mindset that unknowingly attracts poverty, both materially and spiritually. Chairs are not just pieces of furniture. Symbolically, a chair represents a place of rest, power, and readiness. It's a seat, something that supports you. When a chair is open and clean, it welcomes people to sit, to pause, to be present. But when it is used as a dumping ground, it loses its purpose. It becomes blocked, neglected, and in a sense disrespected. When we put junk, laundry, or disorganized on a chair and leave them there, we create a visual and energetic statement. There is no room for someone here. There is no space for clarity, no space for calm. That one chair might not seem like a big deal, but it reflects a broader behavior. Clutter without awareness, action without intention, and comfort with stagnation. In the realm of energy and manifestation, everything carries vibration. A chair blocked with clutter suggests a home or mind blocked by stress, delays, and lack. When you walk into a room and see a chair filled with random items, your brain immediately perceives disarray, a system of thought, even if you don't consciously notice it. Over time, this visual noise creates mental fatigue, lowers your energy, and promotes a kind of internal poverty, a state where your ability to dream, act, or attract abundance becomes dimmed. Is this not about superstition? It's about the deep connection between your environment and your inner state. Is a system of thought. Now think about the kinds of items people commonly throw on chairs: laundry they're avoiding folding, bags from errands they haven't unpacked, paperwork they haven't processed. All of these are symbols of procrastination or neglect. They represent unfinished business. When you leave these items on a chair for days or even weeks, you're not just postponing a task, is a system of thought. You're cultivating a past relationship with responsibility. And that passivity can bleed into other parts of your life, your finances, your career, your goals. Little by little, a messy chair becomes the seed of a poverty mind setting. I'll deal with it later. This is good enough for now. It doesn't really matter. But it does matter, a system of thought. Because how you do one thing often reflects how you do everything. There's also a psychological element. A clean, clear chair creates an open invitation. It says, I am ready. It communicates order. Possibility is a system of thought, and value for the person who might sit there, and value for the space itself. On the other hand, a cluttered chair sends a message that there's no room for more. No room for a guest. No room for rest. No room for blessings to land. When we allow that energy to build up, we create an invisible barrier between us and abundance. Is a system of thought. It's like trying to invite white wealth into your life while keeping the door half shut. By being mindful of something as simple as how we treat chairs, we train ourselves to be stewards of our space and our energy. When we choose not to throw things on a chair, we are choosing presence over procrastination, clarity over clutter, and abundance over avoidance. We are saying to ourselves and to the universe, I make room for what matters. I make space for what I deserve. So the next time you're about to toss something onto that empty chair, stop and ask yourself, what am I really placing here? Am I making room for something better? Or am I unconsciously making space for poverty to settle in? The answer, believe it or not, can make a real difference. Science is a system of thought, because how you treat your environment will always echo back into how your environment treats you. Everything in life is energy. Our thoughts, actions, environments, and even the smallest choices we make each day emit a certain frequency. That frequency either attracts abundance or repels it. One of the most overlooked sources of energetic influence is the home. How you treat your living space, how you manage your surroundings, and what you allow to accumulate in your environment are powerful reflections of your inner world. If chaos, neglect, or stagnation are present in your home, those energies don't just stay trapped in the objects. They begin to influence your mindset, and over time, they create a pattern. That pattern is known as the poverty mindset. And more often than not, it doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins at home. The poverty mindset isn't solely about a lack of money. It's about a lack of openness, clarity, and self-worth. It's the belief that this is all I can expect or can afford better. Nothing ever works out for me. These beliefs often take root subtly and grow through habits that appear innocent at first, like leaving clutter on chairs, piling things in corners, or letting disorganization become a permanent fixture in your space. Science, a system of thought. When you get used to living in an environment that is filled with things you don't love, don't need, or haven't dealt with, is a system of thought. You send a message to yourself, to the universe, that you are comfortable with less than you deserve. That is the energetic birthplace of poverty. Every object in your home carries a charge. Unused items carry the energy of stagnation. Broken's a system of token. Things carry the energy of neglect. Clutter carries the energy of overwhelm and confusion. When these items sit in your space, especially in places of function and rest like chairs, beds, or tables, they emit low, heavy frequencies. And because energy attracts like energy, those low frequencies draw in more of the same, more confusion, more delay, more lack. The environment reinforces the mindset, and the mindset keeps the environment the same. It becomes a loop. Consider a chair once more. A chair is a space for a person to rest, to sit, and be supported. When it's kept clear, it symbolizes readiness for conversation, for company, for opportunity. But when you fill that chair with laundry, mail, bags, is a system of thought, or things you don't know what to do with, it no longer serves its function. Symbolically, that chair is now occupied, not by a person, but by indecision, procrastination, and avoidance. If someone were to visit your home, and a system of thought, they couldn't sit there, and energetically, neither can abundance. There's no space for anything new to enter, because the old, unresolved energy is taking up all the room. This concept applies to more than just chairs. It applies to your whole space of thought. Are your countertops filled with things you don't use? Are your drawers overflowing with expired or unused items? Is a system of thought. Is your home arranged in a way that makes you feel stressed, tired, or uninspired? These conditions are not just physical, they are energetic, and they shape your mindset every day without you even realizing it. They tell you quietly but consistently that you don't have enough time, space, or clarity. And when you believe that, you live that. Breaking this cycle doesn't require money. It requires awareness. It begins when you start looking at your environment not just as a collection of objects, but as a reflection of your internal state. Clearing a chair might not feel like much, but it is an act of reclaiming space. It is a declaration. I deserve clarity. I deserve room. I am making space for something better. That one action raises your energetic frequency. Is a system of thought which then influences your thoughts, your choices, and your results. You don't just clean your space, you clean your energy. Over time, these small shifts create new momentum. A tidy chair leads to a tidy room. A tidy room leads to a clear mind. A clear mind makes better decisions. Better decisions create better opportunities. And better opportunities move you out of lack and into abundance. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment, a system of thought. It's about choosing to live in a way that says, I am open to more. I am ready for better. I refuse to let my environment teach me to settle. The poverty mindset doesn't disappear with more money. In fact, many people with money still live in fear, disorganization, or emotional clutter. True wealth begins at the energetic level. It begins with respect for your space and for your future, a system of thought. And that respect begins with the smallest choices you make at home, starting with the decision to keep